Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where we talk about books and help you pick your next book. Check out this one, Casting Shadows. Not only do I have the book here, but I have the author here as well. Welcome, Sara Ellie MacKenzie. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Tell our
Thanks
viewers where you are right now.
Currently in Connecticut.
Connecticut.
New Britain.
East Coast, then, New Britain. Now tell us about, this isn't your first book, is it?
No, that book that was published is the second one.
Okay. Tell us about Casting Shadows. Here's the cover.
Well, Casting Shadows originally was a story I created when I was working at a call center in Maine about 10 years ago. It was one of those, it was really quiet, nothing going on. So a friend challenged me to write a story, and I wrote it out. And I didn't really think about it for years and years and years. And then I started to actually publish through Amazon. And I finished one book, and then I was looking for the next one. And I initially thought to do a Salem Witch Trials book. But then this story cropped up, and I went, oh, maybe I should develop this more. And then it kind of just took a life of its own. One book became two books. Two books became seven, because I actually dreamt up the plots of what happens after those events.
Now, they're novels, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And tell us generally what happens. Don't give it away, but tell us generally what happens in the book.
Well, it's the 7-book series itself is about the world of Anos. So it initially talks about the main kingdom, Cleanard, and how two sisters fought for the throne and what is the aftermath of that. But it also goes into how it developed into World War, how theocracy was controlling everything, and how it affected individual people.
Now, it's a realm. It's an imaginary realm?
Yes.
So you'd call this, what do you call the genre? Fantasy?
Fantasy, action, adventure, yes.
Yeah. Now, I talk to authors every day, but the most amazing thing is when I talk to people who create this realm, a whole world that doesn't even exist anywhere, and you're able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
a lot of it.
Now, does it take a lot of planning? You got to keep a lot of notes of who is where and what and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And do you use spreadsheets or anything? How do you keep track?
I have notepads, and I write in actually, oddly enough, I write different colors, different tabs. It actually helps me remember where things are.
Yeah. I think in writing fantasy, that could trip you up. Is, forgetting that something you made up that doesn't even exist in the real world happened one way, and then the next day you have to address it the same way. So, and this goes through 7 books?
7 books.
Are they all called Casting Shadows, or are there different names?
Different names for different books.
Yeah. I have one here. Is it Through the Meadow? Is that part of the same series?
Yes, that is book 3.
Yeah, I just grabbed that one because I like the cover. By the way, where do you get these covers? Does your publisher make them, or do you design them?
I do design them through the programming. I publish through Amazon, and they do have a program where you create your own covers. So
Helps you
each
create the
cover is, it's associated with each thing that reminds me of the story. Like in Through the Meadow, you see the butterfly, and that cover was inspired by a poem that was actually in the book itself called Through the Meadow.
And that's also amazing. You're writing fantasy books and you insert your own poetry in the books?
Yes, I do.
That's fun. The Casting Shadows, one I have here, the gray cover, almost looks like a Fibonacci sequence on the cover. First I thought maybe it was a snail shell, but what is it?
It's a stairwell.
Stairwell,
It's one of the houses described in the book. That's what the stairwell reminded me of.
Kind of a Fibonacci sequence. And that's why your covers are amazing. That's why I asked you about them. Now, let's say the first book, how many years from when you got the idea till it actually got published?
So I started that in 2013. That was published in 2021, so about 8 years.
8 years. And how long did the second one take?
Actually, 11 months. 11 months to write.
Yeah, but did they start going faster as you continued writing?
Yeah. It actually started going faster, and everything started coming together.
You got a little process going now. By the way, I like to ask authors about their processes and stuff. many of our viewers are authors who just haven't finished, haven't put that pen down and said, I'm done. And that has to be a hard thing. But you're typing on a computer, writing by hand. What do you do?
I write my notes by hand, and I'm either typing or I've got chronic illnesses, so sometimes it's difficult to type, and I'll actually use the dictate option.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Now you wake up at 6 a.m. sharp and start writing?
No, I have a special needs son, so I get him ready for school first,
Yeah.
and then I take care of our other fur babies, and then I get down to writing.
Yeah. What's your dog's name? I just read that.
It's Tips. Our last dog, Draco, passed away about a month ago.
Anyway, yeah, that's if you go to Amazon, type in Sara Ellie MacKenzie, and you get this great little biography with all of her various animals are in the biography and everything. So that's very cool. Sara, we're almost out of time, but let me ask you this: if our viewers go to your website, which is an easy website, SaraEllieMacKenzie.com, what will they find there?
Not just information about me, but information about the books,
Yeah.
where you can find them, my social media accounts. I'm also an owner of a nonprofit called Connecticut Authors Partnership, and try to consolidate resources for authors and also try to make new pathways for the literary industry.
Nice.
Because a lot of it is ruled by traditional publishing, and a lot of our indie authors have different ways they can market themselves.
You're doing a lot of things. Just that being a mom's pretty much a full-time job, and you're able to write books and have nonprofits and do all these other wonderful things. Sara, we're pretty much out of time, but just I want to give you a minute. Do you have any last thoughts for our viewers? Anything you want them to know before we go?
Other than I wish you all love and peace.
Nice, thank you. Oh, by the way, what formats are your books? Are they in the Kindle format,
They're in
paperback?
Kindle and print.
Kindle and print, okay. And they can buy them at all the usual places. I always say Amazon, but there's a lot of places I'd imagine that your books are available.
I know Barnes and Noble does have some of them, and then if you see me at a local show, you can buy them from me too.
I like to do that. I like to do that the best. Sara Ellie MacKenzie, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you'll come back again and again.
I will. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you. And for our viewers, don't go anywhere. We're going to have another author coming up right after this.